And hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to another live Google Hangouts. This is, as the title states, my WWE Clash of Champions 2016 predictions video. And like I was joined last time for Backlash predictions, I'm joined by my good friend TommieCB. Tommy, say hello.
Hello, everyone. How's it going?
And thank you again for joining me. So, Tommy and I are going to break down the entire Clash of Champions card, give you our predictions, just like we did with Backlash. My overall thoughts on the show is, obviously, it has a couple more matches than the Backlash card. That makes it a little more stacked. I think the build for the show has been good, but you have to keep in mind that this is just 2 weeks removed from Backlash. So, this whole 20 pay-per-view a year thing, we'll see how long this thing lasts. But yeah, I think that the build's been good for what it is. Tommy, what are your thoughts on the build to this show so far?
Even though the weekly Raws leading up to Clash of the Champions have not been, the episodes have not been great, but I really think that this could be a really good show, because there have been times in the past where build-ups to shows have not been good, and yet pay-per-views still delivered.
Yeah.
So I just hope that maybe Clash of the Champions will deliver, and we'll just see if it ends up being better than Backlash.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Backlash. The show only had 6 matches, but every match got the right amount of time that it needed, especially the 3 big singles title matches, which I was really happy to see. What did you think, Tommy, of Backlash having just 6 matches and the card playing out the way it did?
Well, like you said, each match got a decent amount of time, and not really over booking and nothing wacky. So
yeah,
let's just hope that this trend continues.
Yeah, because on the Clash of Champions card, you have the kickoff show match, which we're going to get to in a little bit, and then the main card has 7 matches, so that's 8 matches. So we'll, hopefully all these matches get the right amount of time. I always say this: if a pay-per-view gets the right amount of time and the matches get the right amount of time and the booking is proper and everything, no screwy finishes, a show can always be good to great. So, this is a stacked card for what it is. You have a few really good title matches on here. So without any further ado, let's start with the kickoff show, which will be Nia Jax versus Alicia Fox. I like how they're building Nia Jax. What she did, basically killing Alicia Fox last week with that spear through the barrier, was great. I don't see Alicia winning because Nia needs the momentum and everything, so I'm picking Nia Jax. Real easy prediction to make. What are your thoughts on this, Tommy?
Easily Nia Jax, but I can see something where Alicia Fox just not continue to be relentless and saying, I want more of Nia Jax. So we're probably going to see this as this is a first true feud for Nia Jax, and so we'll just see.
Yeah, definitely, because when you look at Nia Jax, this is her first big pay-per-view match since arriving on the main roster, and Alicia Fox hasn't really been used. She hasn't really been used on TV in a while. So it's going to be interesting to see if this feud continues, if, Alicia Fox's crazy gimmick continues and she just wants to keep fighting Nia Jax. But it's obvious that Nia Jax is going to get the win. I don't see why she needs to lose to Alicia Fox. Yeah, so we both pick Nia Jax. Like I said, I like how she's being built so far. And Alicia Fox, a veteran, may not be one of the best women's wrestlers, but she's good for what she's done. But we both pick Nia Jax, because like we said, we don't really see Alicia Fox needing a win when it's all about building up new talent. So we both pick Alicia Fox. Moving on to the main card, we kick off with, or this may be the opening match or the second match, but we have the Cruiserweight Championship match. TJ Perkins defending against the Brian Kendrick. I'm easily going to predict TJ Perkins to retain. They just gave him the championship. He just won it at the Cruiserweight Classic finale. So I don't see them. I doubt they would take the title off him right away. The Brian Kendrick, having that Cinderella story in the Cruiserweight Classic, making it to the it was the quarterfinals, right, Tommy?
I believe
he made it to the quarterfinals against Kota Ibushi. He lost, but It was an emotional moment for him and for Daniel Bryan. I'm happy to see him on Raw. You know, he's that workhorse. He always impressed me when he was part of the tag team division on SmackDown. So, like I said, I don't predict that TJ Perkins will lose. I predict he will retain the championship. But the Cruiserweight division's off to a hot start so far. What do you think about what are your thoughts on the Cruiserweight division so far, Tommy?
I didn't get to watch much of the Cruiserweight Classic. I was able to watch, you know, some of Kota Ibushi because I've really been a big Ibushi fan since watching his match against Nakamura at Wrestle Kingdom in 2015.
Yeah.
But to go ahead and give you my prediction, I'm going to take TJ Perkins. He just won the title, like you said.
Yeah.
So I don't see him, you know, losing it no time soon.
Definitely. I expect it to be a great match. You know, like I said, Brian Kendrick, this career renaissance, you could say, coming back to WWE, having standout performances in the Cruiserweight Classic. You know, he's that workhorse veteran, so that's great to have that veteran talent in the Cruiserweight division. I don't see TJ Perkins dropping the championship until maybe Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. I think it'd be great to have a Cruiserweight match on a WrestleMania card. I personally think the one that would dethrone him, if they build him properly, would be Cedric Alexander. You'd have to think, with how popular he is, with the love he got from the crowd when he lost to Kota Ibushi, you would think he'd be the next top star to take the title from Perkins. But that, of course, won't be until January or March or April for WrestleMania. But, yeah, we both predict TJ Perkins. But could you see Cedric being the next champion, Tommy, in the future?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're both in agreement. TJ Perkins to retain. Next, we have the Women's Championship Triple Threat match, and this is going to be interesting to predict considering how this all came about. It'll be Charlotte defending against Sasha Banks and Bayley. Now, when Charlotte won the belt back at SummerSlam, I was shocked and I was a little upset because I was like, well, why did you give Sasha the belt in that huge Pittsburgh show the night after Battleground? But Sasha was injured, and there was the concern from fans that she may be getting suspended because there were rumored suspensions going around. But Sasha came back, and now she's gunning for Charlotte and the Women's Championship. But that night after SummerSlam, Bayley debuted, and my only concern, Tommy, is that they're gonna give us Sasha versus Bayley too soon because they don't have enough strong women's talent on the roster when you think of it, because the top four are Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha, and Dana Brooke. Nia Jax, of course, is being built up. So I want to ask you before we get to our predictions, do you think Sasha's going to win the belt back, or could you see Charlotte retaining? Or could you see even Bayley winning the belt?
I think it's too soon for Bayley to win, and you don't want to save. You don't want to. I really don't want Bayley to win her first main roster women's championship on a pay-per-view like this. You know, yeah. I think it's very obvious they're going to build up to Sasha and Bayley for Mania 33. It's in Orlando. You know, of course, the whole NXT ties and all that.
Definitely.
But I could definitely see Charlotte retaining.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if she loses the title, it'll probably be like maybe Survivor Series or even Royal Rumble, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the earliest I see her losing would be Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you can start building up towards Sasha and Bayley then. But yeah. I'm gonna pick Charlotte for the win. I think there'll be some type of finish. You know, maybe Charlotte gets the sneaky pin. Maybe Bayley hits a finisher, or one of the others hit the finisher on the other, and Charlotte just cleans up the mess.
Yeah, definitely. I see that. I can see that happening. I was watching No DQ. I was watching Aaron Riff's predictions, and he actually had the idea that Bayley wins the championship, and then Sasha becomes jealous because Bayley stole her thunder, and that leads to a Sasha Banks heel turn, which eventually culminates in a match between the two of them. But I totally agree with you. I don't want to see Bayley versus Sasha soon. I want it at WrestleMania in Orlando, where they made their name for themselves in NXT. Bayley lives in Orlando, so that would be a beautiful homecoming for her to win the women's championship there on the grand stage against, you know, her fellow horsewoman and, you know, wrestling sister Sasha Banks. So for me, I think that I think it wouldn't be right to like just have Sasha win it back, because I could see her and Charlotte having a singles match at Hell in a Cell. And then maybe Sasha wins it there. So I'm going to go with Charlotte to retain. What I want to ask you, Tommy, is where do you see Dana Brooke in this equation?
I think I'm not. I think it was good mic work. I think it was either good mic work or Solid Monster who said this. Maybe this could have been. It probably would not have hurt of done Charlotte versus Dana at Night of Champion or Clash of Champions, because it's not a big pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You know, and it probably would not have hurt to see just do Dana and Charlotte have a one-on-one blow-off match, or even. But and then to kind of follow up something you said about the lack of depth in the women's roster, especially on the Raw side, I think I can't help but think about Lana as like, okay, now is there going to be more pressure on Lana from WWE to have her actually wrestle on the main roster instead of just being, you know, a valet?
Yeah.
What would you think?
Well, of course she's doing her thing with Rusev. You know, they're a great couple, not just on screen but in real life. Well, I don't know him personally, but I'm just saying. Yeah, because Lana only had one match, and that was the women's tag match at WrestleMania. And I honestly thought she was going to get a chance to shine as a solo star against Brie Bella in a singles match. But I mean, if Lana's ready, let's give her a chance and let's see what she can do. But here's the other thing. With Paige coming back, and I forgot, I think it was my friend Daniel Geiser who said this, he could see Paige costing Bayley the match, and then we get a Paige-Bayley feud, because Paige was not being used at all on Raw before she got suspended. I think she was only on the show once following the draft. So I think what they should do with Paige is really build her up, maybe have her go back to the anti-diva, have her just use all her pent-up frustration from her suspension and, you know, the politics backstage for her and her relationship with Alberto Del Rio. I think she should use that and say that, you know, playtime's over and she wants her women's championship back. So there are things you can do with the women on Raw, because it's not just all about Sasha and Charlotte and Bayley. You can have Dana Brooke eventually get a match with Charlotte. You can have Emma come back soon, and Emma can feud with Charlotte on behalf of her friend Dana. You can have them reunite. Mm-hmm. There's things you can do. So I just want to see more depth on the women's roster on Raw, because on SmackDown, the women are killing it. But to give you my prediction, I'm going to go with Charlotte to retain. I could see a screwy finish. Maybe Dana helps Charlotte, or Paige gets involved and targets Bayley. That way you do Paige and Bayley at Hell in a Cell, and you can do Sasha versus Charlotte for the women's championship in a singles rematch as well. But let's give the other women on the Raw roster a chance, because you got Summer Rae, and she's not doing anything. Maybe give her another chance as a valet. But you've got Paige, you've got Dana, and hopefully you'll get Emma when she returns, and then you can do Emma Charlotte. Like I said, she can fight on behalf of Dana's honor. But to keep the video moving and everything, you're going with Charlotte to retain, and I'm picking Charlotte to retain.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on, we have match number 7 of the best of 7 series between Cesaro and Sheamus. I'm picking Cesaro to win. I feel like he needs it. Sheamus does not need to win a best of 7 series to get a title shot. I just hope that the title shot is not for the United States Championship. I hope it's for the WWE World Heavyweight or the Universal Championship, because Cesaro is a great talent and he just deserves a little better, you know, on Raw. So I'm picking him to win, because him and Sheamus, you know, Sheamus doesn't need this. And I'm hoping that this final match between them is a real good match. Their best of 7 series has been all right. It's not one of the better best of 7 series, but I'm picking Cesaro to win. He needs it badly. Sheamus doesn't need it. And I hope that this ultimately leads to a main event title push for Cesaro. What are your thoughts, Tommy?
I just got this weird feeling that Sheamus is going to end up winning. I mean, I don't know why, but it's just I want Cesaro to win. I want him to get a better opportunity, but I just think that we're gonna get this will be like that swerve
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I hope Sheamus doesn't win, but if he wins, then Cesaro needs to go to SmackDown where they'll treat him better, because Cesaro's a great talent, and I feel like last year he had a real breakout year when he was having those great matches with John Cena for the United States Championship, and he was feuding with Kevin Owens for the brief period of time they feuded. Cesaro was very underutilized, and I feel like he's underappreciated, which is unfortunate. So we both pick Cesaro, but like you said, you think there's a chance they'll swerve us and give it to Sheamus. I hope that doesn't happen. And if it does happen, then Cesaro needs to go to SmackDown where they'll treat him better.
Yeah,
definitely.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. So getting back to title matches, because, of course, Clash of Champions is the one night where every championship is defended. We have the New Day defending the tag team championships against Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson. I really feel like Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson should have won the titles at SummerSlam, but the only reason they didn't is because of New Day breaking the record or going a year as tag team champions, which had they never lost those belts in the first place at Money in the Bank, they would have already done that before SummerSlam. But honestly, Gallows and Anderson, I feel like they need the championships to kind of erase the stench of that whole old day segment and the old fart retirement home, whatever that crap was. Because they need to be built they need to be built the way they were built and booked in New Japan. Just those guys that come in and just kick ass, take names, and, have no mercy. So I really hope Gallows and Anderson win the championships. Something's telling me New Day may end up retaining, so then they surpass Demolition's tag team championship record. But I really feel like now is the time to give Anderson and Gallows the championships, because if you don't, I don't think they'll ever give them to them. I want to ask you, Tommy, your prediction. Do you feel like they've dropped the ball with Gallows and Anderson?
I think people just need to understand that you're not going to get New Japan Guns and Gallows. That's one of the names that they were called, Guns and Gallows.
Yeah.
So you're not getting Bullet Club Guns and Gallows. You're going to get what the WWE gives you. I think even if they give us a glimpse of New Japan Guns and Gallows, which I could live with that, but you're not going to get the full kitchen per se. But I just it just interests me is how petty Vince is going to be, because we all know what this is about. Demolition member Act was one of the many names that supposedly was suing WWE for concussions and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I even said I felt that Demolition more than likely would have been in the Hall of Fame next year, but I think now that's pretty much up in smoke. So it's just all about how much pettiness Vince has about that. So yeah. I felt that Guns and Gallows should have won the titles at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
New Day's already at what, 400 plus days?
Something like that. Yeah.
So again, if New Day doesn't lose at Clash of Champions, then it'll be pretty obvious they're going to break the record. And then, even if Guns and Gallows was to win, maybe. Well, here's the thing. Maybe if New Day breaks it, and what's the next pay-per-view after for Raw? Is it Hell in a Cell or something?
Hell in a Cell, yeah.
So if they don't lose them at Clash of Champions, I think they're going to break that record. It's almost it takes me back to last year when Nikki was Divas champion.
Yeah.
When she was feuding on me, and I said if Nikki didn't lose the title by Extreme Rules, I think at that time I kind of figured it was obvious she was going to break that Divas reign record. So I'm kind of applying that theory to the New Day here. If they don't lose at Clash of Champions, they're going to more than likely end up breaking the tag team title reign record.
Yeah.
I do want Guns and Gallows to win, so I'm just going to go with Guns and Gallows just to stay on point here. So that's my pick.
Definitely. I'm picking I like that name, Guns and Gallows. I'm picking them two to win the championship because I feel like they need it. And then hopefully we'll just get them as like, you know, those relentless ass kickers who come in, kick ass, take names, don't care. Because what they did to the Dudley Boys was great. The way that they took them out on that episode where they retired, they just laid them out with the Magic Killer. That's the Gallows and Anderson I want, not the whole old retirement center thing they did. Like when they were doing the doctor's gimmick, I thought that was fine. It was because of what they did to Big E. But I just want Gallows and Anderson to be like those relentless guys that just beat you down, don't really care. They come to kick ass and take what's theirs. So I will pick Gallows and Anderson to win. But like you said, we could also see the New Day winning, retaining, and then ultimately breaking Demolition's record and finally dropping the championships. But at this point,
I think they would have, because they're like 400 days, and what's the record? What was their record? Like 470 something days,
something like that. Yeah.
So you're possibly looking at maybe Survivor Series that by then New Day would already have the record broken.
Yeah.
If not early December.
Mm-hmm. All right. So both Tommy and I are picking Guns and Gallows to hopefully win the championships. But like we said, we could see New Day retaining, and if that's the case, then they're going to definitely break Demolition's record. Moving on, we have the United States Championship, Rusev with Lana defending against Roman Reigns. Now, here's the thing with this match, Tommy, and I mentioned it in my SummerSlam predictions video. I'm happy Roman Reigns is not in the world title picture, but again, I'm concerned for him going up against Rusev because I have this theory that if Roman wins the championship, he's going to beat Rusev again in a rematch, which might even take place inside Hell in a Cell. Call me crazy, but it might happen, and he'll beat Rusev again, and then he won't have any direction for Rusev. I really want Rusev to hold on to the championship until maybe Survivor Series or even Royal Rumble, because he's doing really good as the United States champion. I feel like they've really rebuilt him following all the losses to Cena and the Ziggler feud and the League of Nations stint and everything. I like Rusev. He's a great heel. He's a great United States champion. I feel like they should hold on. He should hold on to that belt until Survivor Series or even Royal Rumble and then start pushing him toward a world title. But I'm really concerned that if they give it to Roman Reigns, they just will have no direction for Rusev after this feud because they'll do a rematch, which might be inside Hell in a Cell. And then Rusev will probably lose matches again, and I really don't want that to happen. So what are your thoughts on this match and the build-up to it, Tommy?
I think Roman winning the U.S. Championship isn't necessarily a thing to lose sleep over.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he's not going to be in the Universal title picture no time soon, but I think people just need to understand that he's going to get back in the picture maybe around WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Especially with whatever plans they had for maybe Finn Balor and moving for now that he's hurt. So I think, you know, like I said, Roman is going to get back in that Universal title picture.
Yeah.
So him winning the U.S. Championship, you know, it's nothing to freak out over. I think people are just going to over exaggerate because it's Roman. But I'm picking Roman to win.
No, I totally agree with you. It's not anything to lose sleep over. I'm just concerned for Rusev because I don't want him to lose all this great momentum he's built as United States champion. Because I just got a feeling, like I said, when Roman wins, they'll do a rematch. Roman will beat him again, and then I don't know what they're going to do from there. I mean, Rusev's a great talent. He should have been in the world title picture by now, but then everything got derailed against Cena. So,
and then you have to remember, like, you know, the heat that Lana had drew late last year with the whole, you know, leaking out the engagement.
Oh yeah.
Her and Rusev. So that kind of played. I don't know. That played a small factor as well.
Yeah. So I want Rusev to win, but there's, like you were saying, Tommy, there's part of me saying Roman Reigns is going to finally like beat him and win the championship. So I'm personally rooting for Rusev, but if I had to make a prediction, which obviously I have to, my prediction would be Roman Reigns to win the championship. Let's see where they go with Roman as champion. If they swerve us and Rusev retains, I'm going to be really shocked, but I'll be very happy because I just want Rusev to hold on to the championship for a couple more months because he's had it since Extreme Rules in May, right? May was when that pay-per-view happened. Yeah.
Mhm.
So he's had that championship for almost 5 months. So personally, I want him to retain, but my prediction, because I got a feeling they'll do it, and they'll just because Roman is the guy. And the other thing too is he beat Kevin Owens in the cage match on Raw. So my prediction is Roman Reigns to win the championship, but I'm personally rooting for Rusev to retain the championship, and we'll just see where things go from there.
Okay.
All right. Next up is the other non-title match on this main card: Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho. With the right amount of time, I think these guys can have a really good to great match. But I really feel like Sami Zayn needs this win. I mean, last month, he was on the pre-show to SummerSlam in a tag match against the Dudley Boys when he had just beaten Kevin Owens in that incredible match at Battleground. You would have thought he would have been in a major match, maybe even the Universal title match on that card. But if the goal is to do Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens at Survivor Series for the championship, which kind of gives my prediction away for what I think is going to happen in the Universal title match. But if they're planning on doing Zayn and Owens in Toronto, their home country of Canada, you got to have Sami Zayn look strong. You got to build him properly to be the #1 contender. And he's even said it, that he feels a little directionless after having vanquished Kevin Owens. So I'm picking Sami Zayn to win. Chris Jericho doesn't need pay-per-view wins. He's already established himself as a legend. He's coming up with new catchphrases, and he's still a freaking icon. But I really feel like Sami Zayn needs this win to start propelling him toward the championship and a potential match with Kevin Owens at Survivor Series. What are your thoughts on this match? What are your thoughts on this match, Tommy, and who are you predicting to win?
I'm with you. I'm predicting Sami Zayn. Jericho doesn't need to win. I would like to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at Survivor Series. I think maybe they'll give Sami just a quick little transitional run with the championship. Maybe have him win it at Survivor Series, and maybe even a roadblock. I believe that's maybe road. I think he's roadblock, but yeah, I'm with you, Jericho. He doesn't need nothing else to establish himself. He's a Hall of Famer, no doubt. So I'm going to go with Sami Zayn.
Yeah, definitely. There's talk about Jericho being in the title picture with Owens. I threw that little scenario out to you. What about Owens versus Zayn versus Jericho in a triple threat match, where Jericho implode and it's in Canada. Three of the best Canadian wrestlers in a major main event at caliber would be awesome. And I remember you asking me about Seth Rollins. What would they do with him? Well, we'll get to that when we talk about the main event. But yeah, whether it's triple threat or whether Zayn's going solo, I think he really needs to win this match and then win whatever they offer him at Hell in a Cell, and then do the big match at Survivor Series. And if he doesn't win it there, maybe have him win it at Royal Rumble, and then put him in the main event of WrestleMania. And I don't know, maybe maybe if Balor's back in time, you do Zayn and Balor, which never happened on an NXT event, or Zayn versus Balor versus Owens, because Balor never lost the title. Owens won it when it was vacated. So there's a couple things you could do, but for now, we picked Sami Zayn to win because he needs to win. Jericho's great as a heel, but he doesn't really need pay-per-view wins. Yes, he's got wins on Raw, but Jericho, one of the all-time greats, still holding it down at age 45 or 6, whatever. But yeah, we're both picking Sami Zayn. And with that said, we go into now the main event. Kevin Owens defending the WWE Universal Championship against Seth Rollins. I really like the build so far to this, Tommy, because I like seeing this really incensed, aggressive Seth Rollins. He even called Stephanie and the Authority out the week after he got screwed over by Triple H. He knows how they operate. They had him in his pocket or in their pocket. He just was not happy. He wants what's rightfully his. He wants what he was screwed out of. I like it. But Kevin Owens has gotten the better of him. You know, he called him the architect of failure, and he even said redesign, rebuild, replaced. So I really like the build, and this is the first time they've met in a WWE ring. Have they ever wrestled on the independents as Steen and Tyler Black?
I would imagine they have.
Yeah. So I'm really expecting this to be a great match because, like I said, it's the first time they've ever done it in the WWE. With that said, I do expect Triple H to get involved again and help Kevin Owens retain the championship this time, because I think it's really stupid. There was this rumor going around that they might have Rollins win it, which is really dumb because Owens just won it on Raw. I mean, I really want to see Kevin Owens do big things with the championship for the next few months. So my prediction is Kevin Owens to retain thanks to Triple H's interference. And the thing that, you know, when everything happened, Tommy, with Owens winning the championship, I was thinking, you know what would be great is if this is the start of maybe Triple H doing this NXT revolution where he takes the NXT talent that have done well on the main roster who haven't been utilized properly, and he just rebels against the main roster, and they start taking over, and they start making a name for themselves, something like that. What are your thoughts on the build to this and, you know, Owens winning the championship, and how do you see this match playing out?
Build-up's been pretty good. I like Seth being more aggressive, as you saw with this match against Rusev. I do think smart money would say Kevin Owens retains. And I think we talked about this during the Backlash video about maybe possibly doing like a Team Seth versus Team Triple H at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And something that came to my mind was that if that was to happen, would there be a possibility of them having Seth and Roman on the same team, maybe just against each, like, hey, you know, I don't like you, you don't like me, but we don't like Triple H.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that later down the road. But I'm picking Kevin Owens to win. I think it'll be a screwy finish.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be Triple H's interference that ultimately decides that match. I'd be really surprised if Kevin Owens beats Seth Rollins clean, but you got to believe the next match they'll have a rematch at Hell in a Cell, inside Hell in a Cell, which would be fitting because you know, considering the feud, the build up for the last couple of weeks. And yeah, we did talk about a Team Triple H, Team Seth Rollins match at Survivor Series with Roman and Seth maybe on the same team, and you know the fact they don't get along, but they have a common enemy. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this all plays out. I want to ask you before, because my obvious prediction is Kevin Owens to retain because of some kind of screwy interference. What would you think if Triple H took guys like Neville and Owens, and he did this whole NXT revolution kind of thing on the main roster where he's trying to, like, because I don't know what Triple H's motives are, but when I saw what happened on Raw when he helped Owens win, I thought, you know what, that was one of his favorites on NXT. That was one of his standouts. I was thinking maybe this is the start of an NXT revolution where we get like guys like Owens and Neville and maybe even Zayn going up against some guys on the main roster. What would you think if they did something like that with how this whole storyline's been booked so far, how this thing has played out since Owens won the title?
Well, that will probably require turning Neville and Sami Zayn heel.
Yeah.
And then maybe you do something like that, and then, you know, Finn Balor's the missing link, and then he'll be that one that kind of goes against Triple H and say, hey, I appreciate what you did for me, but, you know, I'm going to try to do things on my own, and maybe he'll be that one that just he'll follow his own path and, you know, maybe rebel against the system.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. I don't know if that's what's planned, but that's what I thought about when he helped Owens win the title, and I thought that would be really cool, you know, because you know, if Tyler Breeze was on Raw, I would definitely see Triple H taking him and saying, you know, you've done this guy wrong one too many times, so now it's time that I make up for your mistakes. Like, I would love to see that. And then, you know, your idea was great with Balor being out. He could be that missing link, and then he could, you know, he could give his thanks to Triple H for everything, but say that I can't go your route because I want to do things my way, and then that causes Triple H to assault him, and maybe you get Triple H versus Balor at WrestleMania. See, what I like is there are a few scenarios we can come up with right now. You never know what's going to happen. I just hope that it has a huge payoff, because you have to believe we're going to get Seth Rollins versus Triple H. I don't know if it's going to be at Survivor Series. The latest, of course, could be WrestleMania, maybe Royal Rumble. I don't know. But I like how this thing is keeping us thinking, and it's got us a little excited. We don't want to jump too far ahead, but we ultimately think that that's what it could lead to. But we know that eventually we're going to get Seth Rollins versus Triple H. So with that said, I want to ask one more thing, Tommy, before we call it a day with the predictions. Do you see Stephanie maybe turning on Mick Foley and the Authority coming back together, or do you see Triple H just going against both of them in the future?
Well, I really hope it doesn't lead to an Authority reunion.
Yeah.
Maybe, like I said, you said this could be Triple H leading the charge of his NXT. I guess I won't say kids, but his NXT, talent,
yeah. Soldiers.
Yeah, army.
Yeah.
Like I said, you have Finn Balor kind of be that one that's like, okay, if we get Finn Balor, it shifts the balance of power in whoever's favor, whether it be Triple H's side or Foley and Stephanie.
Yeah.
So I really, but like I said, we're thinking too far ahead, so we'll just let everything kind of simmer, and once we get more clearer picture, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, well, maybe we can even do like a booking video or something talking about it. But with that said, we're gonna go through our predictions real quick. So for the kickoff show, we both predict Nia Jax to defeat Alicia Fox, and then on the main show, we predict that TJ Perkins will retain the Cruiserweight Championship, Charlotte will retain her Women's Championship, Cesaro will win match 7 of the Best of 7 series. Although we have this feeling that they may swerve us and give it to Sheamus, and like I've said, if that's the case, then Cesaro needs to go to SmackDown. We both are rooting for Guns and Gallows to win the tag team championships, although we got a feeling that WWE will have New Day break Demolition's tag team title reign record. We both predict Roman Reigns will win the United States Championship. We both predict Sami Zayn will knock off Chris Jericho, and we both predict Kevin Owens, with some kind of screwy finish, will retain the WWE Universal Championship. So that'll do it, guys, for our Clash of Champions 2016 predictions. Tommy, if you'd like to get a plug for your channel, which I do have linked down below in the description box, guys. If you want to give a plug to your social media, Tommy, go right ahead.
Yeah, same as always. TommieCB, TommieCB. I also do fantasy football, predictions with a friend, Mike Savage, on his channel. We give our weekly picks for the games, and we just do little, who to start, who to sit, and whatnot. So,
yeah,
check that out on his channel. So, and also, we like to congratulate Kevin Garnett on a successful NBA career. He announced his retirement today, 21 seasons. He's not one of my favorites, but he's obviously one of the greats in this generation. So, congrats to KG on a great career.
Yeah, I don't follow basketball that much, but I do want to say congratulations, Kevin Garnett, on your great career. 21 seasons, that's incredible. Happy retirement, and enjoy your retirement, enjoy your time with your kids. Thank you, Tommy, for joining me again for another successful predictions video. I, of course, am Robbie1 Kenobi. All my social media is down below in the description box. Make sure to go check out Tommy on Twitter and check out his channel. Check out some of his older content. And, of course, please continue to support my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. And leave your predictions down below, guys, for Night of Champions. Tell me which match you're most looking forward to. Which match you're most which match you think will be match of the night. What do you think will happen with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, and what do you think about our ideas for this whole NXT revolt in the potential future? With that said, I'm Robbie One Kenobi.
Well, Robbie.
Yeah.
I don't think if you're right, we would end without talking about AJ Styles. You know, we talked about him being Wrestler of the Year, and with him winning at Backlash, I think, like I said, we agree that now there's no doubt that he should be named Wrestler of the Year. What do you think?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, when he won the championship at Backlash, and I think I tweeted this to you, didn't I? The night that he won the championship from Ambrose, there's no doubt that he is the Wrestler of the Year for everything he's achieved. Not just WWE, but what he did in New Japan Pro Wrestling with Nakamura. There's no doubt AJ Styles is the Wrestler of the Year. So if anybody wants to make a case for anybody else, let me and Tommy know. But with AJ Styles, yeah. Go ahead, Tommy.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but yeah, it's like, people are still. I understand people are still making the case for Matt Hardy. You know, I applaud him for the career resurgence, but you look at what the last 4 months compared to what AJ's done in 2016 each month, which has not been disappointing. You have to give the edge to AJ. I mean, well, not the edge. He wins in a landslide. I mean, if it was Character of the Year, Matt Hardy easily wins. But as far as like just wrestler, what he's done every month of this year and has not disappointed, AJ Styles gets the dub. So
definitely. Sorry. What I was going to say, Tommy, didn't mean to cut you off. I respect Matt Hardy for what he's achieved. He's done great things with his Broken Matt character. I am not taking anything away from him. But if we were to look at like a consistent basis, you look at what AJ Styles has done, win or lose, he has been in some big-time matches. He's done some big-time things, from the Rumble debut to beating John Cena twice in singles matches to beating Dean Ambrose to become the WWE World Champion. AJ Styles has done a lot. And yes, if it wasn't for AJ coming to WWE, and if he was killing it still in New Japan, I'd probably say he'd still be the Wrestler of the Year. So if you believe Broken Matt Hardy deserves Wrestler of the Year, you are entitled to your opinion. We are not here to bash you for your opinion. We're just saying who we think is the Wrestler of the Year, and we think we have to give the nod to AJ Styles for everything he's done since the beginning of the year up to now. He's in a big-time feud with Ambrose and Cena. He's going to be main eventing No Mercy in Sacramento, which I hope to go out to. AJ Styles is killing it. So we personally think AJ Styles deserves the nod for Wrestler of the Year. There's no doubt he's taken that nod. I don't see anybody else taking it from him. But if you believe Broken Matt Hardy deserves it, you are entitled to your opinion. We are not here to bash you. We're here, we're part of the YWC for a reason. So if you believe Broken Matt Hardy deserves Wrestler of the Year, you're entitled to it. Leave your comments down below. Tell us why. Tommy and I just think AJ Styles has done quite a lot in such a short amount of time to earn this, that recognition. And I mean, look at my profile picture. It is him with the championship throwing up the 2 sweet. I mean, he's done a lot within the past 8 months he's been here. Since the beginning of the year, and he's just really embodied what Wrestler of the Year is. So that's just our thoughts.
And honestly, if we're going to be real here, if there's any other person that would give AJ a legit argument for Wrestler of the Year, you probably have to go with Nakamura, or even I said personally Kenny Omega. I think to me those right now are the top 3 guys of 2016. Based on body of work, what they've accomplished, what they've done. The Matt Hardy thing, you got to think the Broken Matt thing started in the summer. And you compare that to what, like I said, Nakamura, Omega, and AJ have done this year alone.
Yeah.
And we're in the latter half of 2016. There's still 3 more months to go. And again, but I think we both agree AJ Styles right now is driving that bus to the top of Wrestler of the Year. So, like I said, just let us know what you think. And if you're a diehard TNA fan and you're riding with Matt Hardy, then that's your right as a wrestling fan. But I think smart money would easily say AJ Styles would be Wrestler of the Year.
Definitely. No, definitely. AJ Styles, I mean, what else? He's had a phenomenal, no pun intended, 2016, and it's not even over yet. We're in the fall. You know, he still has there's still a few more months in this year, but I mean, there's no doubt he's the straight up front runner, and he basically is the wrestler of the year, unless somebody else does something really phenomenal or magnificent to knock him off that perch. But other than that, AJ Styles, our wrestler of the year. With that said, guys, we're gonna. Is there anything else, Tommy, you wanna bring up real quick, wrestling related, before we go off?
I think I'm good.
Okay, cool. Well, with that said, Tommy, just want to thank you again for joining me, and I want to thank everybody who watched us live or who will be watching us later today. Keep supporting our channels, keep supporting our movement, and enjoy Clash of Champions this Sunday. And we will see you all later. This is Robbie One Kenobi. He's TommieCB signing out. Everybody have a good day and peace.